What is going on, guys? I've messed up. I've been busy on Copart bidding on cars for like 2 months now, and I didn't seem to win anything. Then one night I went to bed and I bid on about 10 cars, and then in the morning I've woke up and I've won 3 completely random cars, all crash damaged salvage cars from Copart, and the first one's just turned up.
We can just check in, kick back, unwind, surrounded by widows that feel like mine.
Now, this car itself wasn't very expensive. I bid quite small amounts on random cars just to play around when I was bored, which is very dangerous. But the time you add all the fees on the Copart, I'll go through them later in the video, it gets quite expensive, so I paid more than I wanted to for these completely random cars. I have no idea about full cars, but now I've looked into it, this is basically a Fiat 500. So this is a Fiat 500 with full body panels on, basically. 3 cars purchased, 2 of them don't run, 2 of them don't have logbooks. I've absolutely no idea why they don't run. I mean, the damage, as you can see, is only light front end, so we have absolutely no idea. This has just turned up, so we're going to run through it now, see if we've got power, see what's happening, and find out whether I've wasted my money. Let's go. Right, what a beast. Where's the bonnet catch? It appears we don't have a bonnet catch, so there's the first thing wrong with it. Only 1 key with it. We'll give it a shot. Oh wow, check out that funky black and red filthy interior. Shall we see what we've got in here? Looks like we've got an M&S pastry in there. Do you want that? Got a little bit of paperwork going on there. I don't know if there's a service book in there or anything. It's the thing with salvage cars, you never know what you're going to find in them. Does this vehicle start? No. Yeah, same from the salvage yard, basically telling us that we bought a car that doesn't run, so that's great. Some paracetamol. Obviously this car has given the last owner a headache, probably me too. You sure your car interests you in a pastry? Anyone? Don't know how long it's been sitting there. Right, let's see whether we've got an ignition. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, first things first, I say we get a jump pack on this and see whether it's got any life in it and if the battery's dead. Costa coffee tray. Don't know if this is going to work. Oh yes. So, let's turn it around that way, give Costa Coffee a bit of free advertising. Do you reckon that's safe, or is that going to decapitate me? I might get decapitated by a full car. It's not the best way I tended to go when I die. Right. Don't know whether this little thing's going to have enough juice in it to get this thing working. Right, where the hell's that going to go? That's not going to fit over the whole thing. I don't seem overly happy about that, but... Oh, I pressed the boost button. It's gone solid green now, so... Let's see if we've got ignition. Ooh. We've got lights on the clocks. That weren't there before. How much mileage has it done? 74. That's not too bad for an 09 plate, is it? Right. Oh, the light's gone off now. Oh, back on. FPS on. I don't know what that is. Ah, dead. I don't know whether that battery jump pack just doesn't have enough juice in it to fire this thing up. I say we put the battery on charge for a little bit or find a bigger battery booster. Look how worn the buttons are on that radio. Literally, like, how has it got that worn? Right, let's find a bigger jump pack. Either a bigger jump pack, we're either going to charge the battery or get a new battery, because I think that's the first point of call, is getting power, and then we'll see whether this thing starts. I don't know if we can get any better connections with this thing. Oh my god, they're even smaller on this. I'm going to have to get some better stuff for doing cars. It's far from ideal. It won't go over. It won't reach over the whole terminal, so that is the best we're going to do. Whether that works or not, we'll find out. Right, got some power. 5.7 volts. Oh, it's gone up. It's going up quick. What's going on there? Well, it's got the word faster. It shouldn't really be going at 13.7. I don't know what's going on there. The thing is, I think this battery's either flat or toast anyway. We'll just leave this doing its thing, and we'll call up the auto spare shop, see how much a battery is. If it's stupid money, we'll look for other options. But we need some juice for this battery, so let's give the auto spare shop a quick call and see how much a battery is for this thing. How much do you reckon a battery is going to cost for this thing?
60.
Hi there, have you got a battery for a full KA in stock? Yeah, so you've got one that's got a bit more power and one a bit less. Yeah, price on both, please. Or is that including that? Right, so apparently they do two batteries to this, shallower one and one that's a bit taller, a bit more power. Apparently this isn't the battery that he's got listed. The 063 is a less power one. It was an 07 something or other, I forget the number. So this size battery is £62 on trade and just under 80 quid I think for the more powerful one. So I don't know, like, not to sound like a tight arse, but I don't want to spend money where I don't need to, so maybe we'll give this just a little bit more charge, and if it don't fire up, we're going to go get a new battery. Let's go. I've had another idea. What if I go and get the jump pack and plug it into it, so we've got the jump pack and the battery charger, so we're giving it every bit of power I can give it. Maybe it'll turn over. Let's go get it and find out. Right, I don't know if this is going to do the battery charger any harm. Hopefully not, but if I can get these on the terminals as well. Right, I'm just going to go on them cables. I don't know if this is going to work. We're just figuring it out as we go. Right, I'm pressing the boost button as well. Right, that's all the power I've got that I can throw at this battery. Let's see whether it cranks. Moment of truth. Ooh. Well, it's something. We've got it firing over, but actually, has it got any fuel? Let's put the ignition on and see whether it's actually got any fuel in it. Can't say it'd be run out completely flat, but oh yeah. Oh, we got nearly half a tank. It's weird, isn't it? So I don't know if it's an electrical thing, whether we've got spark, whether it's a fuel related issue. I have got an OBD reader computer. Maybe we should plug that in, see if it fires up any faults before we decide on the battery. Need to fire this thing up. We need some power on the ignition, and then might be able to find out if there's any faults on here. 1.25. It's a 1.25, so I'll put 1.2 or 1.3. Bick, it's a 1.25, and he's asking me if it's a 1.2 or 1.3 litre. Yeah. Which shall I pick? 1.3? It's a 1.25. It's not showing any lights at all. Right, we have a major battery problem. We can't run the OBD reader. It's looking like a battery at this point. I didn't want to have to buy a battery, but it looks like I might have to buy a battery. Right, we ended up getting a brand new battery in the end. Or I ended up getting a brand new battery in the end. I just can't be bothered to mess around. I've got an idea of what could be, potentially might be a reason why it's not starting, but we can't do anything. I can't put the full code reader on here. I can't try and start it without a decent amount of battery power. So I'm going to switch this out quickly. Right, let's see if it starts first of all. I don't think it will, but we'll give it a try. There's nothing there at all, so it's cranking nice. But I was having a little delve around last night and I found there's a fuel cut off. There's two different types on the full car. There's a little button that when you have a crash, it pops up and you have to find it and push it down. But I've had a look on the handbook last night and there's a procedure. It sounds like an old PlayStation game. You have to do certain, like, remember the old PlayStations where you used to have to do certain code to unlock Tony Hawk to do random things? You have to move the indicators up and down in a certain sequence, and apparently that resets the fuel pump or the fuel cutoff. But I'm going to go get the manual and we're going to give it a try, because you never know. If this thing fires up, it's the easiest fix ever, right? I had a good look through this last night, funnily enough, and I noticed it's actually got service history with it, which you don't always get. There's a service portfolio. Normally on a crash damaged car you can kind of end up with nothing, but it's got services at 5,500, 9,000. I don't know what the mileage is there. Got a couple more there, 25,000 miles, 36, 42, 65. And it's on about 70,000 miles, so it's pretty much a full service history, which is a result. There was another unusual thing on the listing for this car. It said mileage discrepancy, and I didn't want to do that car vertical thing because it's actually quite expensive that everyone advertises on car channels. You can find out the mileage of a car for free online if you put the number plate in. So I was curious why at 70,000 miles this has got a mileage discrepancy. Now sometimes people like roll back the clocks because it's high mileage. But when I looked at the mileage on this, the mileage discrepancy was at 13,000 miles. I think it went from 10. Did it go? I can't remember. It kind of, somewhere between 10 and 20,000 miles. It went back from about 18, 20 to 13,000 on an MOT. That's all it was. And what I think's happened, I don't know for sure, is I think somebody wrote 13,000 down at the MOT service station instead of 18,000. That's my... I mean, obviously I could be wrong, but I don't see any reason for rolling the clocks back or changing the clocks that early on in the car's life, you know, under 20,000 miles. So I genuinely think the MOT station fucked up and put 1.3 instead of 1.8 on the mileage. But anyway, right, I'll put it up on the screen now. I'll put it up on the screen now so you can see for yourself. Let me know in the comments what you think. Right, let me show you what I found. Fuel cut-off system. This system triggers after a collision, which it's had, and activates the following. Switch off the fuel supply. Automatically unlocks the doors and lights. But the fuel's the thing that I'm thinking could be the reason. So there is procedure here. Turn the ignition to MAR, no idea what that is. Activate the right indicator, activate the left, right, left, and ignition stop. Right, the only thing I'm not sure is the ignition to MAR. Is that ignition switch 1 or 2? Let's have a look on the... Stop. Oh, MAR. It's the first click. There, can you see it? MAR. I don't even know what that stands for, but if this works, I will be absolutely shocked. But right, off, left, right, off, left. Can't be that simple, surely. Oh no, the indicator's still on. Well, that didn't work. Try it again. Let me double check. It was right, left, off. Right, MAR. Right, off, left, off. I'm going to try it with ignition on because MAR is the first click and you've got no lights on. And you can't see if the indicator's deactivated. So, right, off, left, off, right, off, left. Doesn't say how long for or anything, so. Well, that's a shame. That would have been a nice easy fix. I'm running that brand new battery out. That's a shame. That would have been like the easiest fix ever, wouldn't it? Let's put the OBD reader on it as a... it's a shame because I've got a brand new battery now. I've almost killed it trying that out. Right, OBD port. Let's turn the ignition on. Is that the right key for this one? Yeah. Okay. I don't know what FPS on is. I should really look that up. Right. Diagnostics. Auto search. See if it comes up. Full to start. Well, it's a 1.25, so I'm going to go 1.2. Could be either of those. Let's see what happens with that. Right, system scan. Let's just try clearing fault codes. U0427. No idea what that is, but we're going to try and clear it. See what happens. If it stays there, then obviously it's a problem. We need to clear fault code memory. I think the seatbelts are locked out there. Wouldn't be surprised if there's something to do with the seatbelt, but we're going to clear what we can. 4 things on the restraint module are CM, ABS, green tick, PCM, green tick. Let's go back to that restraint one. So we've got B0107, B0123, B0124, B0126. I don't know, I'm going to have to Google that. I don't know if it's something to do with the seat belts. It's got 4 seat belts, so possibly could just be that. Okay, I don't think there's much more we can do on this. Right, let's unplug this. What was you going to say?
I have an idea. Like when you like turn the ignition, the indicators work.
Yeah, I noticed that, and then they don't. When you turn it on, it's just stuck on right
Like,
indicator.
maybe if you like try to start it, then do the indicators while doing the ignition. Yeah.
Well, look, it's going. It's got a solid right, and then it's flashing left, and the indicator's up. Now it's saying left, even though it's in the middle. I wonder if this is what it should be doing when you should do that. Right. Down. Because it doesn't tell you how long to do it for, and it says to do it on ignition click 1, but this is ignition click 2. Right, that's off now. Let's... It's nothing. It's really weird. Right, down, left, down, right, off, left, off, and then it says go to stop. And then what after that? Just try and start it, take the key out of the ignition. Oh! I think that worked. Let's forward a little bit. That's if the battery's got enough life left in it, because it really was draining it. Sounds like something's rubbing. Sounds so healthy, does it? I think it might be that belt. I might be wrong, or it might just take a second to. Yeah, it's getting quieter. Yeah! Shall we see if it drives?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if it drives. Oh, I did realise, I did find out as well that this does have a bonnet catch. It's like a really small pencil size one. It seems to be missing, but I think it's missing, but anyway. Let's see if this thing drives. Okay. I'll pull forward. Just the mirror. It's exciting, isn't it? Actually sounds alright, doesn't it? That weird noise has gone. It's probably just where it's been sat for a long time. Ooh, something sounds.
I think that's the bumper.
Could be the bumper.
Should we snap it
Could
off
just
real
be
quick?
Something's rubbing. It could be the brake discs are rusty and been sat for a long time, or it could be the bumper. Let me have a quick jump out and see what's loose and rubbing. Oh yeah, it probably is that. There we go, fixed. See if said noise is gone. Quiet as a mouse. Come on in 1.25, let's see what you got. Oh, got some seatbelt thing. Oh, does your seatbelt work? Oh, yours does, mine don't.
It don't pull.
Oh, it's locked out. So we need to get the yeah, that noise is annoying. So the fuel cutoff was activated from the crash. We've fixed that. The seatbelts are locked out. Yeah, I've got a good idea of this car now. But drives nice, steers nice, brakes nice, engine sounds good, and now the bumper's not hanging on the road. Yeah. What do you think? Actually drives alright, doesn't it? Fiat 500, 4 badges. What's that in that light there? Might just be a bulb or something. It looks like a bulb icon. As with all crash damaged cars, you don't know what you're getting yourself into till it gets delivered most of the time. So my biggest concern with this was whether it would run, because if it don't run, it could be anything. We've got it running, so now I've got more of an idea what we need to replace on this and whether it's worth it. So I'm thinking at this point it's definitely worth doing. I've got no airbags gone off on it at all, so that's great because I don't really want to have to take the dashboard out of a full KA. The windscreen isn't smashed, that's amazing. So have a little quick walk around the car starting. I'll start down this side. Bit of lack of peel or something going on there, but it's actually filthy dirty. There's a few bits of like flaky paint. Not too bad around there. We have got some cracked paint and some scuff marks and a bit of a gouge there. That bit's not too bad. Now with a car this kind of age, Probably just going to clean it up and see how it looks cleaned up, because the odd scuffs and scratches, not the end of the world. Front end. Now, obviously the bumper's absolutely screwed. But I've had a quick look underneath. I don't know if you can see under it. You've got like a cross member thing here. You can see where my finger is. That's taken. It's a bit weird because it hasn't done the radiator above it, which is literally like there, but it has done this. So I think it's hit something very low down and it's just chopped that. So we need to replace this bar, the bumper obviously, probably the bumper grille. That's completely split, so that's not fixable. I think this one's going to be a good one. However, as I said in the video, I've bought 3 cars by accident and the other 2 have turned up. So let's have a quick look around them. Don't ask me why I've bid on these cars, because they're just the most random cars ever. But let's start with this one first of all. So we've got a 1 Series Convertible, and this literally has just been dropped on the pavement. I haven't done anything with it at all yet. It's a non-runner. It's got, I don't think it's got a logbook, is it, this one? No. So again, 3 cars, 2 of them are non-runners. Got 1 of them running now, so we've got 2 runners, so this is the only one that doesn't run. So at first glance, just looks dirty, don't look too bad. Looks like someone's keyed it or scratched it. Where is it? Oh no, I don't know, that looks like that might come out, nothing too bad. Is it open? The interior isn't, probably was a nice colour once, but it looks absolutely grim. I don't know whether them seats can be cleared up, but none of that's going to matter at all unless we can get it running. Back end's not too bad, it's probably covered in little light scratches. 2 main concerns with this car is, oh, also before we walk around, I think that's sitting a bit low on that back corner of the suspension, so I don't know if there's something fucked up, like a bad shock or something. That's that side. This comes now we come on to the bad side, and I don't know if how well it comes out on camera, but it's been scuffed and dented in there, all in this area. It's probably hard to tell in this dirt, but it shouldn't do that. So the whole of this back quarter is a bit mangled in. Some light scuffs going into that door, but it seems to have bowed the back quarter in a little bit there. I'm not even going to look at that unless we can get this thing running. Yeah, main concern is a non-runner. Secondary concern is the bodywork, if we can get it running, and just a minor issue. There's absolutely no air in that front tyre whatsoever. Again, I'm not worried about the tyre, that's an easy fix. Would you say we pop the bonnet as a final thing today and keep turning it over? I've had a little Google around on these, and a common fault seems to be glow plug related issues. Not saying it is that, but since it doesn't have any hard front end damage, I'm thinking it's not going to be anything like a pyro fuse or a fuel cut off. I reckon it's had an issue. Yeah, I reckon it's an issue nothing to do with a crash. That's my gut feeling on this one. So let's get the jump pack on it and just see if it's got enough juice to just crank it over for an extended period. If it is the glow plugs, it might go, but it might take a longer time to go. That's best case scenario. So let's grab the jump pack. Right, I actually thought this would be a lot bigger than this. I wanted one of them massive battery booster power bank things, but it is what it is. We'll give it a shot. Oh shit, it's a BMW. Is the battery going to be in the boot? If we've got no battery, we're not going to be able to get to the boot, are we? Here comes the first problem. Can't see a... looking for a button or something to access the boot. Why? How do we get to the boot? I mean, I've never had a 1 Series before, but I've had a 3 Series, and I think the battery was in the boot with that, so it's locked. Well, this one's going to have to get scrapped. We can't do anything with it. Get the key. Shit. So, problem number 1, we've got a flat battery. The battery's in the boot, we can't unlock the boot because there doesn't appear to be any key. There's nothing under the badge. Not sure if there's a key slot under there whatsoever. Can't see a manual way of opening the boot. I might have to Google this. This is probably people are going to be laughing their heads off me in the comments, but there's literally nothing under it. There's nothing under the badge. There's nothing under this lip. You've got number plate lights, no key. When in doubt, ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT, how do I unlock the boot on a BMW 1 Series 118 2009 that's got a flat battery? Unlocking the boot of an 09 can be tricky. Look for a small plastic cover near the boot handle. I'm sure I've done that. There's no plastic covers at all, not there. Unless it's very, very well hidden, I can't see anything that looks like a manual keyhole at all. Option number 1 was bad. Manually open the boot. If none of these options work, you might need to contact the locksmith or BMW specialist. For fuck's sake. Well, that's not good. What?
Couldn't the badge be one? Oh no.
Badge? Well, like, I thought it would turn or lift, but it doesn't seem to do any of those things. And I can't see any levers for... Actually...
It's got instructions up there, in the middle.
Seatbelt, headrest. It's just for the seatbelt and headrest. It's a convertible, so this could be different in the fact that I'm guessing this is all one bit and doesn't split fold down. That looks like one seat to me. I'm not sure if these are meant to fold down because you've got all the roof mechanism that comes down inside it. No, that's just for the seat release. Shit bugger shit. I don't think there's an easy way of getting to the battery on this. Might have to go and do some Googling. Is there anywhere else you can connect the jump pack to rather than just the battery? Like,
can you ask where is there a boot thing in the boot button?
Huh?
If there's a boot button in
is there a boot release catch anywhere on it? Because there's no keyhole. I can't see a boot release mechanism. The battery's flat. And I can't even pull the back seat down. There's got to be another way of getting into the boot on this car. So if we can get power, we could try the central lock-in. I don't know if there's something under the engine bay to put the jump pack on, like just terminals, even if there's no battery.
Oh, positive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks like that hasn't got anything to put anything on. I don't know. I don't want to put power on there until I know what it is, but that possibly could be what we need. But there's no earth. Let's go and have a Google and double check. You guys are probably going to think I'm nuts or obsessed with full KAs. I'm really not. So I was just bidding on any old thing in the end. Slightly more expensive stuff, cheap stuff. Just something to get going on Copart, and I've got to be honest, this didn't look as bad as it looks in person on the photos. So the screen, as you can see, it looks like, to be honest, it looks like it's hit a pedestrian. Someone's, I shouldn't laugh because obviously I don't know the story behind it, but it don't look good. The front windscreen's absolutely smashed into smithereens. And I thought from the photos from higher up, it looks quite light damage. Although it's not terrible. Again, it looks like it's hit something very low down at this height, but it's gone right back. So again, this is going to be a minimum of what the other 4K needs. Front bumper, crossbar, cross member, whatever you call it. This one needs a bonnet, but I don't know if I'm going to bother with this one. I'll show you why. the airbags are completely blown. Now, obviously this can be done, but the passenger one's probably going to be an entire dashboard out, which is fine, you can do that, but on a 2011 full KA, is it worth it? I don't know. Gonna have a think on this one, guys. See what the vehicle's worth, whether it's worth just selling it and getting my money back on it or actually fixing it. But there is one good thing about it though. Right. It actually runs sweet as a nut. Not only that, it drives, it moves. I mean, bear in mind it's been sitting for quite a long time in a salvage yard, but... So, this one is the one out of the three that I'm not sure about. So, what I'm thinking is working on the other two first and trying to get them finished to a point where they're road legal again. Still not sure with the BMW, and still need to find out how I can even get to the flipping battery on it, but I was originally going to use parts out of the full cars to build one decent one, but they both need front bumpers, they both need a front crossbar, so you know, unless I was using parts off this to scrap that, there's not really anything much I can use off of here to fix that one. So I need to price up some parts and figure out whether it's cost effective. I've got a strong feeling that the 2009, the first full car I showed you that we went for a quick drive in, is going to be one that I'll definitely fix. I've got a feeling I'm going to repair this, but until I know whether... There's always a really small chance something major's gone like the engine, at which point it might not be worth doing this. But yeah, the next thing I need to do is do some major searching on Google. Try and find out either how to jump start this car or get that boot open. The problem is, it's a convertible, so you haven't got the split folding seats to pull down. As far as I can see, there's no button on the outside, there's no lock, there's no key under here. That badge doesn't push in, flip up, there's nothing under there. Unless there's something hidden under the number plate or something random. Or, worst case, going to have to smash out this light and buy a new one, who knows. So, really basic of things, a flat battery, but absolute nightmare on a 1 Series. Right guys, I managed to get the boot open in the end. After I finished filming last night, I was messing around, and originally I tried connecting the power pack positive to this, and then I couldn't find a decent earth. I was trying to do it to the strut tower, different places. In the end, took the engine cover off and earthed it to the engine block, and that managed to give me enough power to use the remote fob to get the boot open so I can finally get to the battery. So there's a battery compartment finally in the boot that was almost impossible to access, and there's the battery which I took out, and it was on 5 volts. So I left that charging indoors overnight, and that's now showing a healthy 12 volts. So hopefully I'm going to get the battery fitted back in this compartment. Have you ever seen so much stuff on top of a battery? It's crazy. I don't know if some of this is some kind of pyro fuse. It feels a little... well, it's obviously going to be a bit loose. I'm not sure if there's any kind of fuses in here, but I think this car almost feels like it wants to crank over. Let's get the battery in and find out. Right, bit of a monstrosity. I've never seen so much gump on top of a car battery before. The boot interior lights come on. Not sure what's happened to that in the past. Previously melted. Anyway, I think the first thing I want to do is run some diagnostics in case we drain the battery trying to start it. Right, after we've got a few search results off of this, I'm going to try cranking this over. Right, just running the search results on the fault code reader at the moment. Once that's done, I'm going to try cranking it, but I've got a feeling it might crank until the battery's dead again and we have to use a jump pack. But I just want to get the fault codes off of it before we drain the battery. Copart have tried to start this and said it's a non-runner, and the guy that delivered it said he tried to crank it over and it hasn't started. My first thoughts are it's not related to like pyro fuse or fuel cut off, because yeah, it's not had front or back damage, and it's just a bit of a scuff on the back quarter. So let's see what it says. Engine control module. Airbag fault. Engine control module, 5 things. Glow plug. Now, this is what I was saying. Glow plug cylinder 1, glow plug cylinder 2. I have heard on these that they've got a glow plug, like electronic control module, that tends to go around 100,000 miles. So that's a possibility. Oil pressure switch. Power management battery. Power supply. We're going to try clearing those now. Let's clear DTC, see if it clears any of them up, but yeah, it's cleared some of the things up on it. SRS, supplementable inflatable restraint system airbag. Does it tell me? Driver's airbag stage 2, driver's airbag stage 1. Right, I'm not too fussed about driver's airbags because you haven't got to take the entire dashboard up to change these. As long as it hasn't blown a hole in the passenger one in the dash, I'm not too bothered about that. I say we try cranking it. Let's pull the OBD reader out. Let's give it a go. Right, not holding out much hope, but oh, there we go. Firing or turning over. Oh, that was a little bit. Come on. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Key out and key back in, try and get the glow plugs to activate again. I think we've got a glow plug issue myself. My first suspicions are going to glow plug. Sounded like it almost wanted to go. Honestly, I ain't got a clue how the ignition works on these flipping things. Just thought you put the key in there and press the button. Right, I've got some lights back on the dash. Let's try again. Glow plugs. Come on. Turn over. For fuck's sake. Put my foot back on the clutch. There we go. Sounds like it wants to go. Oh no, don't say that was a battery gone. It's turning over quite healthy. I think it's glow plug related. Either the glow plugs themselves or there's a module that controls the glow plugs. That's where my initial thoughts are going. So I'm not sure at this point whether to buy the electronic control module. I'm not sure if you can just buy one and throw it on, or whether it needs to be coded to the car, or even how much they cost actually. It sounds so close though. It's so close to starting. Well, that's the battery gone. I'm going to grab the jump pack and see if we can get a few more turns out of this, in case it's the glow plugs. It is freezing cold today, so if it is the glow plugs, yeah. Right, let's grab the jump pack. Right, jump pack's on. Clutch down. Oh. Come on. It's like it starts and then turns off because it thinks it's actually started for a second. Oh, come on. Oh, it sounds so close. So close yet so... Oh, you son of a gun. So let's break down what I paid for each of these 3 cars from a salvage auction website. So I bid on loads of cars and a lot of them were reserved not met, and the auction ended and it said I didn't win, so I thought nothing more of it. But as it turns out, on Copart, the seller of the car gets 2 days to decide if they want to accept your bid, even if it's not met the reserve. So this is why, a bit of a learning curve, I've ended up with 3 cars in one go. So anyway, this 09 Ford KA, I bid £225 maximum bid, and with the fees, it's not quite as cheap as you think. The delivery was £120 from Copart. I think in the future I might be able to find a cheaper delivery service. It's not terrible, but when you're buying a cheap car, well, in total £562.99 for a car that I won for £225. So you can see it starts to add up. This 011 plate Ford KA, I won for £200, so even cheaper. But again, with the fees and with delivery, this come in at £537, I think 63 pence, which it really is starting to add up at this point for some really cheap shitters that I just thought would be fun to play with. So anyway, also the pictures didn't look as bad from above on this car, but as you can see, it's very low down, the damage, and it's gone back a bit further than I thought, so we'll get to that in a minute. Prices, let's go for the BMW. Right, the BMW was potentially the best buy. It depends on whether we can get this running. I've still got a issue which I think is the glow plugs or the glow plug module that controls it. Anyway, I won this for £175, which sounds like a good bargain, but with the fees again, this come in at about £489, £490 delivered to my house, and we don't know yet if this is a bargain or a waste of money. Right, we're just going to see whether this old girl starts. Go on, Lou, do you want to try it? Oh, look at that, it works by the key fob. I'm going to see if this thing fires up because it's been sitting for a couple of days. Wow, first time. Got the radio working, parrot Bluetooth's on. Right, innit? Yeah. Right. Okay, switch that one off. So what we're thinking is fixing this one first. It runs. It's still got 2 weeks MOT left on it, which is crazy. It's got paperwork with it, but I need to send off for the logbook, which I need to do tomorrow on Monday. Right, take the key out and jump out for a sec of this one. So we're trying to figure out what to repair first. This one has got the lightest damage. The bumper's split pretty bad, but I think I can fix this with a plastic welder. And I bought one for 20 quid off Amazon. So this is the easiest fix, which I'm thinking of doing first to get it just done. This we don't know because we've got an issue and it won't start. It's turning over, but not sure about this, so this one I'm going to have a play with and maybe throw some money at some glow plugs or a glow plug module. And this one is barely worth doing because it needs so much. You've got front screen, you've got to buy that and pay to have it fitted. All the front slam panel section, the bumper. Worst of all, both airbags are gone, so you've got to have the entire dashboard out and replace the airbag modules in the dash. But I've had a good look around online. I did price the parts up, and the 011 is completely uneconomical. Even in used parts, it's about £1,000 of parts. But I think if I keep looking hard enough and get some good deals, it might be worth doing, even for the experience of just changing the dashboard, even though I don't really want to go to that amount of work for a bloody full KA. Now I've got it, I've got to do something with it. So I have been on eBay, and I've got a really good deal. For £200, I've got a hell of a lot of parts. All of this stuff on the floor. So I've got 2 rad packs, slam panel rad pack type bits, potentially for 2 of the full KAs. Airbags. I've got the entire dashboard, bonnet in the wrong colour. It's a funny shade of white. And this happy looking little lad is my son, who's 17 doing his driving lessons. And I know full KAs ain't your thing, I know you want a JDM car, but I have been trying to bid on a JDM car for a month with no luck, and I've won 2 full KAs. So would you like a full KA for your first car? Yeah? I know it's not your favourite thing. We can get you a JDM car later down the line. So the thing is, for a 17-year-old, that's Group 2 insurance, cheap to run, doesn't have a turbo to go wrong, and it's an 09 plate. And that's about £35 a year to tax. And then this 011 plate Z-Tech diesel does have a turbo that could potentially go wrong. He's £20 a year to tax, but he's a Group 6 insurance, so it's definitely going to be overall a more expensive car. So, what's your faults? You've got one that's easy to fix, which I don't think it matters how hard it is to fix. You've got one that's going to be way cheaper to run. It hasn't got a turbo to blow up or go wrong, and it's going to be definitely cheaper to insure by a bit. Or you pay a bit more insurance and have the 011 plate turbo diesel. Right, before you make a decision, I know you said to me that your driving instructor said a diesel's easier to drive. That's only when you're learning to drive. Once you've learned to drive, it makes no difference whatsoever. So that is not a factor to make you decide. You should be able to drive a petrol or a diesel, so it doesn't matter. So which car do you prefer?
The diesel.
You really have got your heart set on a diesel. Why do you prefer it?
The noise from it.
You like the sound of an agricultural tractor engine? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
You really want the diesel, even if it's probably an extra 40 or 50 quid a month to insure on top of, like, it's probably going to be about 130 quid a month to insure. You know that, right? You still prefer it?
Yeah.
Right, hold out your hand. Done. So, right, I'm going to go and have a cup of tea, stick that dashboard in the airbags in and change the front windscreen, alright?
Yeah.
Cool. Right, you happy then? So, you know that it's got a hell of a lot of work. Come over and have a look how much work that's got. Look at it. Right guys, that's all we've got time for today. Hopefully Lewis will be happy with his 011 plate. Got a lot of work ahead of you, Lou. You're going to be fitting a dashboard yourself?
Yeah.
Right. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hit the notifications button. I'll see you guys in the video soon. Take it easy.